Good morning. My name is Dan McKittrick. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm your pulpit host virgin today. So this is my first time ever hosting, so bear with me if we make any mistakes. Thank you. On behalf of this congregation, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of Native tribes. Whether you have joined us online or you are here in our sanctuary, we are glad to have you with us in this sacred time we choose to be together. Our congregation is served by our minister, the Reverend Jaimie Simon, who is available for pastoral care or to answer questions about Unitarian Universalism. She may be reached at minister@uuch.org. If you are a newcomer, please sign our guest book in the foyer. That's where you would have come in if you came in from the back, to receive our weekly email newsletter. I urge you to do that even if you never come here again, because you never know when you will want to come here again. Please take a moment to silence your electronic devices now. I remembered to do that beforehand, but don't silence yourself or the people around you. The joyful and not so joyful noises of children and adults are always welcome here. If you have a joy, sorrow, or important milestone that you would like shared during our circle of candles and included in the pastoral prayer, please write it on one of the white cards found in the hymnal rack in front of you and place it in the offering basket. For community news and events, check our email newsletter, website, and the announcement section in your order of service. This week we don't have any new additional announcements, but I would point out to you the last pages of your order of service that you would have gotten coming in here. There's something happening later on today, there's something happening Thursday, there's something happening Saturday, and there's something happening on Martin Luther King Day. So check those announcements in your order of service. After our service, everyone is welcome to join us in the fellowship hall over there for coffee and snacks. And if you're new here and unfamiliar, if you go back through the foyer to say hello to Reverend Simon, there's a back way to get to fellowship hall. Go to the bathrooms and then take a right. Now I would like to invite Paul to ring the singing bowl to help us enter into the service more deeply. Thank you. You're done now. Finally, having gathered in a shared quest for truth, meaning, and purpose, let us light our chalice with these words. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Flip the page. And now, to help center yourself and quiet your mind, we will have our music for centering, followed by our thread song, number 389.
Good morning, friends. Welcome in. Welcome here to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. My name's Reverend Jaimie Simon. I use she, her, and hers pronouns. And gosh, it is my privilege each week to welcome you into this beloved community. We come to church this morning heartsick for our broken world. We come to church this morning hearts filled for our loving community. We know both are true. Both are real in this moment. We know our love and our faithful resistance is true and real in this moment. We come to remind ourselves that love is all we have and love is all we need. May we be love here in this place, out to the world for all time. Now please rise in body or in spirit to sing with me our opening hymn. It's number 90 in the gray hymnal, From All the Fret and Fever of the Day. Let's sing together. It is our tradition that after we sing our opening hymn, we also sing together our doxology in English and in Spanish, and we speak our words of aspiration. When we get to that part, it's our tradition to turn toward the center aisle, make eye contact with someone across from you, and speak these words as words of promise in community. Let's sing. May love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. You may be seated. And now I'd like to invite forward our Director of Religious Education, Jess Zelaya, and any children and youth who'd like to come forward this morning to hear our story about people standing up for justice and making the world a better place. Come forward, friends. Is it on the other side? Come on. It's right here. Squeeze it. Good morning.
So this month's theme is practicing resistance. And today's story is about just that. It's called Brave Girl, Clara and the Shirtwaist Makers' Strike of 1909. A steamship pulls into the harbor carrying hundreds of immigrants and a surprise for New York City. The surprise is dirt poor, just 5 feet tall, and hardly speaks a word of English. Her name is Clara Limlick. This girl's got grit, and she's gonna prove it. Look out, New York. Clara knows in her bones what is right and wrong. What's wrong begins a few weeks after the Limlicks moved into their tenement in America. No one will hire Clara's father. They will, however, hire Clara. That's right, Clara. Companies are hiring thousands of immigrant girls to make blouses, coats, nightgowns, and other women's clothing. They only earn a few dollars a month, but it helps pay for food and rent. So instead of carrying books to school, many girls carry sewing machines to work, and Clara becomes a garment worker. From dawn till dusk, she's locked up in a factory. Rows and rows of young women bend over the tables, stitching collars, sleeves, and cuffs as fast as they can. Hurry up, the bosses yell. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, hisses Clara's machine. The room is stuffy, and there are tons of bodies crammed inside. She wants to read, she wants to learn, but at the end of her shift, her eyes hurt from straining in the gaslight, and her back hurts from hunching over the sewing machine, she walks to the library. As the weeks grind by, Clara makes friends with the other factory girls. At lunch, they still share stories and secrets as if they were in school where they belong. Clara smolders with anger, not just for herself, but for all the factory girls working like slaves. This was not the America she imagined. The men at the factory tell her they've been trying to get the workers to team up in a union. Then they'd strike, refuse to work, until the bosses treat them better. But the men don't think the ladies are tough enough. From then on, the sewing tables and on the street corners, Clara urges the girls to fight for their rights. When the seamstresses are overworked, she says, strike. When they're underpaid, she says, strike. And when they're punished for speaking up, she cries, strike. And the girls do. Each time Clara leads a walkout, the bosses fire her. Each time she pickets, her life is in danger. Clara hides the bruises from her parents. As a few days later, she's on the picket line again, and the other girls think, if she can do it, we can do it too. For weeks, the strike goes on. But the bosses find other young women to do the work for the same low pay and long hours. We must do something bigger, think Clara and the other union leaders. Something huge, a giant strike. At every garment factory in the city, the union holds a meeting. Throngs of workers pack the seats, the aisles, and the walls. The hall thrums with excitement. Clara listens to speech after speech. The speakers, mostly men, want everyone to be careful. 2 hours pass, and no one recommends a general strike. Finally, the most powerful union leader in the country goes up to the podium. Not even he proposes action, so Clara does. That's right, Clara. She calls out from the front of the hall. The crowd lifts her to the stage where she shouts in Yiddish, I have no further patience for talk. I move that we go on a general strike. And she starts the largest walkout of women workers in U.S. history. The next morning, New York City is stunned by the sight of thousands of young women streaming from the factories. One newspaper calls it an army. It's a revolt of girls. Some are only 12 years old. The rest are barely out of their teens. In the coming weeks, Clara is called a hero. She lights up a chilly Union halls with her fiery pep talks. Her singing lifts the spirits of the picketers. When a large group of thugs approaches, she yells, "Stand fast, girls." And they do, all winter long in the bitter cold. Their cheap, thin coats, tired and starving and scared, the girls walk alongside the men on the icy sidewalks of the picket line. They spill out of the union halls, blocking the roads, filling the street corners and public squares. Newspapers write stories about them. College girls raise money for them. Rich women, swathed in fur coats, picket with the factory girls. By the time the strike is over, hundreds of bosses agree to let their staff form unions. They shorten the work week and raise salaries. The strike emboldens thousands of women to walk out garment factories in Philadelphia and Chicago. As the strike convinces Clara to keep fighting for the rights of workers. Her throat is hoarse, her feet are sore, but she has helped thousands of people, proving that in America, wrongs can be righted. Warriors can wear skirts and blouses, and the bravest hearts may beat in girls only 5 feet tall. The end. I like how in this story, Clara speaks up for the injustices that she sees. Have you ever stood up for what you know was right? Yes. Yeah? What did you do?
When we did the government one, we say when the government was acting like the king.
When the government was acting, like the No Kings protest? Yeah. Was it hard to stand up for what's right? It was easy, but your legs were tired. So, what makes you feel brave enough to stand up for what is right? When you have strong feelings inside about what's right and wrong? So when you believe in something really strong, there's something in your heart that keeps you going. Yes, Ruthie.
At school, I stand up for my best friends because when my best friends get hurt, I stand up for them.
You stand up for your friends at school, and you're brave. Thank you for listening to our story today and for sharing with me. Let us now sing our children out.
Thank you for a very inspiring story today, Jess. We are the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville, a proudly inclusive spiritual community. Together we build a broader search for meaning, a bolder form of compassion, and a braver voice for justice. At this time, we invite you to support our mission with a monetary contribution. You may donate online using the QR code on your order of service, or you may put cash or check donations in the offering baskets. Be generous today. Completed circle of candles cards that we talked about earlier, if you filled those out, place them in the offering basket as it comes by you as well. You're invited to come forward during this time also to quietly drop a stone into the bowl of water here next to the ramp. Does everybody know where it is? Right here. In honor or memory of what you hold in your heart. With gratitude, we now receive the offering.
Friends, will you join me now for our time of meditation, reflection, and prayer? Let's breathe together for a moment. Spirit of life, love known by many names, be with us as we are in this time of sharing, of lifting, of praying, of holding that which touches our hearts, that moves us in community. Listen to these joys and sorrows. Heal the pain. Hold the joy. This morning we lift up our friend Lacey Rowe. Enjoy. Lacey's off on a trip to Maryland for the long weekend to see friends and visit some favorite places, and asks for good thoughts for safe travel on this trip. We will be with you in spirit, Lacey. Our friend John Jeter, who's not here this morning, has two sorrows to share. John shares that Matt, the 46-year-old son of John's friends Bob and Mary Kay Mann, died on December the 12th. Mary Kay, his mother, died on December 30th. What sorrow for this family. We hold you, John, as you love these dear friends, and we hold them in our hearts this morning. Later in our service, I will lift up one particular ice-related death that happened this week, but for this moment, I ask us to hold in love the 32 people who died in ICE custody this past year, the people of color, the people whose stories are not headlines, but whose lives mattered. May we hold them in our hearts, their families in our hearts, and work for a world that treats people with dignity and love. In the places of joy, may we send more joy. In the places of pain, may we send healing. And may we say together, blessed be, and amen, and sing with one another meditation on breathing. It's 1009 in the Teal hymnal. Breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. For our reading this morning, I'd like to share with you a poem written by poet laureate and activist Amanda Gorman this week. It was written for Renee Nicole Good. They say she is no more, that there her absence roars, blood blown like a rose. Iced wheels flinched and froze, now bare. Riot of candles, dark fury of flowers, pure howling of hymns. If for us she arose, somewhere in the pitch deep of our grief crouches our power, the howl where we begin, straining upon the edge of the crooked crater of the worst of what we've been. Change is only possible, and all the greater when the labor and bitter anger of our neighbors is moved by the love and better angels of our nature. What they call death and void, we know is breath and voice. In the end, gorgeously endures our enormity. You could believe departed to be the dawn when the blank night has so long stood. But our bright fled angels will never be fully gone when they forever are so fiercely good. And now I invite forward our choir to sing for us a piece rooted in justice, rooted in love. Let us sing, Rooted in Fertile Ground. Have you seen them walking? Have you heard their story, Monks on the Move, Marching for Peace? I first came across this story a few weeks ago, and I've been following it since. On an October morning in Fort Worth, Texas, 19 Vietnamese Buddhist monks put on their robes and grabbed their walking sticks, summoned up their courage, and began on their journey. Inspired by their faith, they're walking across the American South to bring and inspire peace and compassion. A white and tan mutt named Aloka with a heart-shaped marking on his forehead leads the group. He's a seasoned marcher, a rescue dog off the streets of India who is now on his second walk for peace of his short lifetime. Some of the monks are wearing simple shoes and others are barefoot. They're not loud or angry. They're not wealthy or particularly gifted, but they are committed to sharing their message of peace. They're committed to living a different way. And they're committed to reminding the world that we can still be good to one another. Their walk will end in February, 4 months and 2,300 miles away from where they began. They'll reach Washington, D.C., having walked through most of the southern states, including a long stretch here in Alabama. And when they began their journey was just for themselves, a small, quiet, nonviolent protest against the hatred and violence in our world. But as they continue now, their journey has become a movement, with hundreds of thousands of people tracking their walk, joining them for a mile or more, blessing their journey, offering them food and shelter and companionship. And the monks say this: "We do not walk alone. We walk together with every person whose heart has opened to peace, whose spirit has chosen kindness, whose daily life has become a garden where understanding can grow." Step by step, they walk the road of resistance, building for all of us a more beautiful world. Beloveds, may we follow in their footsteps. May we live peacefully and love boldly and build power to heal this world. For we know that this world and this nation that we call home is in terrible crisis. We wonder, are we a land of freedom, opportunity, and hope? Or are we a land of fascist tyranny, where racism and hate are the only currency stronger than our currency? And is it too late, we wonder, to take another path? This week we saw it on our phones, on our screens. A young mother, a poet, a queer woman with a loving wife dropped her 6-year-old child off at school in her quiet neighborhood in Minneapolis. And at the same time, another parent, this one with a darker complexion, who may or may not have had all of the specific immigration documentation that our system seems to require, they were there too, trying to drop off their child in their quiet neighborhood. Masked, armed agents attempted to stop this second parent. They tried to intimidate them, humiliate them, arrest and deport them, wielding their guns and their brash indignation. And so this first parent, this mother, Renee Nicole Good, stopped to bear witness. She used her SUV, complete with children's toys in the glove box, to be a nuisance, a pleasant, friendly nuisance, smiling and saying, "It's okay, dude, I'm not mad at you," as the video shows us. She was following directions. She was calm, with a smile of protection plastered on her face. She was a human being, an American citizen, a wife and mother who just wanted to pick her child up at the end of the day, just as all parents hope to do. And because she chose to stop to bear witness, because she chose not to turn away from hatred or allow it to continue, those men shot her in the face, in broad daylight, on camera, without warning or hesitation. And now our government wants to try and tell us it was her fault. They want to call her radical, terrorist, criminal. Beloveds, we know better than that. We know whose fault this was. We choose not to look away. We pay attention because this level of injustice cannot stand. They say when a person dies, they leave a hole in the community they left. Renee Nicole Good leaves a chasm. And into it, an outpouring of love and resistance is growing. Protests are happening all over the country, neighbors equipping neighbors with whistles and water and willingness to put their own soft bodies on the line. Step by step, in Renee's blessed memory, we walk the road of resistance, calling out injustice, attempting to build for all of us a better world. May we be on this path together. The author and activist Adrienne Marie Brown teaches us about this path of resistance. She writes, "When those with power are doing inhumane or anti-planet things, our choice to be disruptive, to be impolite, is one of the ways we wage small resistance. And that small resistance can become mass resistance and large-scale cultural and political transformation." Brown continues, "We've learned this from ancestors in our lineages who helped expose and break massive systems like chattel slavery or Holocaust genocide. Small resistance historically has looked like a wrench in the gears, a slowing things down, a rancid ingredient in the master's food, enslaved people teaching each other to read and write, allowing a fugitive to sleep in your basement or your attic, learning how to give each other reproductive care, slipping each other cannabis for medicine. Small resistance these days looks like turning people who are supporting and promoting racist, transphobic, and inhumane policies away from our doors. It looks like stopping next to police cars that have pulled people over and watching and filming until the person is allowed to leave again. It looks like naming the isms and phobias in real time and learning together. It looks like local direct action at the homes of congresspeople who make decisions that harm humans and the planet. Small resistance, friends, is who we are and what we do. It is the deep call of our faith that values love and justice above all else. It is the longing of our hearts to dismantle the oppressive machines that are set on destroying us all. Small acts of resistance. Each are the next step and the next and the next on the path. And we will walk this path together until all of us are free. In light of the world this week, the Unitarian Universalist Women's Federation put out a reminder. They write, "Our faith reminds us that love is a verb. We can't believe in the inherent dignity of all living things without protecting, upholding, and fighting for the inherent dignity of all living things. None of our principles or values are passive. Each one calls us to act for justice in the world. We are called to act for justice in the world, in our ways, in our own communities, using the skills and passions we each hold." The Women's Federation offered us some options of what that action can look like, particularly in this moment of crisis for our immigration system and for our immigrant neighbors. They recommend first, get trained as a constitutional observer. Training will equip you to be the eyes and ears of justice effectively, consistently, nonviolently, and within the boundaries of our Constitution. Learn what to look out for and how to call it out. 2, and this is always the message for now and before and in the future, build relationships with targeted communities. The best way to find out How to keep people safe is to ask them directly what they need. And you can't ask people that question if they don't trust you, if they don't love you, if you don't love them. Build relationships early and often. 3, and I think this is important in this room of all of us with our different lives and stories and abilities and needs. Assess your own comfort level for risk. We each have different considerations in our lives that determine how much risk we can tolerate. We have different physical bodies, different levels of financial protection, different responsibilities to children and elders in our care. Honor those limits and choose your involvement accordingly. We each have a role to play, and many critical elements of organizing are not exciting or flashy or out front. But without them, without those small, sustained efforts, the organizing work cannot continue in the long term. 4, and this is a reminder for all of us, make no mistake in this moment, ICE takes U.S. citizens. They take law-abiding residents. They take anyone they want at any time, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you were born or what you do or why. Know the risk and face it bravely. 5, and this is something we continue to practice in our community, we build mutual aid networks. People will need food drops if they can't leave their homes. They'll need accompaniment for their children at the bus stop so that they're not abducted in front of their children. People will need rides to and from work, support at shift changes at our big factory businesses. These needs will vary from community to community, which is why, once more, building relationships is critical here. And 6, and this is one we haven't talked about much yet, but it's important. Think about your data practices and your digital footprint as we engage in this work. I love posting cute holiday pictures on Facebook as much as the next person, but when it comes to sensitive activism work, let's use encrypted, safe apps so that we're not unintentionally, opening ourselves up to more violence. Ultimately, our task as faithful, committed folks is not to do it all, but it's to find the ways that we each, in our own way, can be of service to the resistance. Each one of you has a role to play, big or small, silent or loud, sledgehammers or termites. Find what fits you best and play it proudly. Catholic nun and activist Joan Chittister reminds us this truth. You are not required to save the world, but you are required to save your little corner of it. We may not be walking across the country or organizing in shirtwaist factories or blocking ICE agents in other cities, but we are not excused from the fights in our backyard. It's our duty to resist and resist and resist fascism, hate, isolation, and occupation. And we do it by building community, by serving our neighbors, building relationships, practicing safe activism. We do it by telling anyone who will listen that they cannot divide us and make us weak, for together we are strong. Next Sunday, you're all invited to participate in a day of putting this belief system into practice. We're joining with 2 congregations, faith neighbors who are different from us in how they practice their faith and what they believe, but who share a love for community and a commitment to resistance. We'll join our friends at Temple B'nai Shalom and St. Mark's Lutheran Church. They're actually coming here, and we are going to have a day of service together in partnership with them and also 5 or 6 nonprofits that are doing good work in our community. The goal of this day is to help some neighbors, build some relationships, learn how we might be able to partner more in the future, and to remind each other we are not alone in this fight. There are co-conspirators all around us. I hope you'll join this effort, and please come find me after the service if you've got more questions, but it's going to be a great day of service together. Beloveds, as Unitarian Universalists, as faith people who value justice and love, we are committed, like it or not, to the long road of resistance. Some of us will follow in the brave and bold and sometimes bloody footprints of resistance that is loud and proud and upfront. Resistance work that puts privilege and power to the test. And some of us will do our part on the inside, disrupting the cogs of this violent machine quietly and coolly until it ceases to turn. And some of us will pour our energy into nurturing each other on the way, creating art and beauty, feeding and nourishment for all of us along this walk. Friends, here we are, rooted in ground that is so fertile with possibility. Here we gather to take the next step, and then the next, toward healing our broken world. Here we remember, we tell each other over and over again that we are not alone in this. May we live our values as the verbs they are, and take the next steps on the road to resistance together. Blessed be, and amen. And to continue our metaphor of taking the next step, I'd invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing one more step. It's number 168 in the gray hymnal. In honor of the resistance we commit to today, let's sing.
Let us now take a moment to extinguish our chalice with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Friends, our worship service now comes to a close. Thank you for joining us this morning. I will be at the back of the sanctuary to greet you, and of course, everyone is invited to head to Fellowship Hall for coffee and conversation and snacks. Now let us go forth with these words adapted by Tess Bomberger. May we go forth to meet oppression with a freeing justice, hatred with a healing love, and despair with unfailing faith. May you be brave and true and ready, for the world we dream of is waiting. Let us build it together. Amen. Blessed be, and let's go out singing our rite of community. May I be light in you. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.